こんばんは、日本語さんの皆さん、吉先生です。で、今日はまた、日本語を頑張って勉強しましょう。では、始めましょう。気をつけ。で、お願いします。Okay. Today, we're going to go over a grammar pattern and just talk a little bit about what's coming up for you guys on Thursday and kind of where we're headed a little bit. Today's topic is this. Dun, 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 dun. If you can read my handwriting, it says only. Okay? So, in your study of Japanese, what are the words that you've learned so far that mean only? Only. I'm going to write a couple down for you here as you are pondering. All right. Hopefully you came up with 2, maybe 1. Hopefully not 0, but this is okay. That's what I'm here for. So we have dake and shika. Okay. And both of them have similar meanings, right? In terms of only and only. There you go, because that's our topic for the day. So, but today we are going to introduce a completely new term for only. Bakari. Oftentimes, when people say this in conversation, they enunciate and say bakkari. And so, what is the difference between dake, shika, and bakkari? Is the big question. So, one thing, and probably the most important, bakkari, it's only a specific thing, but whatever it is, you're doing a lot of that, or you're eating a lot of it. And so, whereas remember when we talked about shika, and shika was like only, it's this small amount. Bakkari is a large amount of whatever it is that we're talking about. And so, if I was to take a couple sentences right here that you may relate to, 私はゲームばっかりする. Okay. All I do is play video games, and I play a lot of them. Okay, as opposed to game しかしない. Okay, which is all I do, like I just play games, and I don't do very much, like, whereas this is I'm super active, but all I do is play games. And so they're really similar in some regard, but hopefully the nuance you get in that. And so the usage of it is pretty straightforward. The thing that you would note here, shika, we have a negative, right? And bakkari, we do not, okay? Which helps you understand a little bit about, that it's a lot and that sort of stuff. And so another thing, a lot of times when we use bakkari, we don't always use it literally. As in, game bakkari suru. You probably do other things besides play video games. Some of you, I wonder about. But this usually, or you're like, あの人は肉ばっかり食べます. Right? Like, just eats a ton of meat, right? That's the image everybody has of Americans. But, right, but in reality, it's not just that, right? Whereas shika a lot of times is a lot more literal in that regard. And same thing with dake. So it's basically a new word in terms of things that I'm introducing to you about bakkari. So you're going to put it after whatever it is and then your verb, right? And so it replaces o in that regard. And so if you were to say, like, to play tennis o shimasu, right? If all you do is like play tennis, nobody does that anymore because we're inside, but whatever, it's fine. It would be tennis bakkari suru. Or maybe all you do is watch YouTube. YouTube ばっかり見る, right? Or 本ばっかり読む, right? And so we have all this time at home right now, and so I imagine that there's certain things that you do all the time. So this would be a good time to use that, right? There's other things that you do, but whatever it is, ばっかりする or ばっかり読む, ばっかり見る. Okay? Hopefully pretty straightforward. And so that is our ばかり only. Okay? So in terms of going forward, one thing, I want you to have your textbook available for our class on Thursday. I don't know if you can quite see it. We're going to start talking about food because we're supposed to be doing our bento project or building up to it. We're going to be doing it a little bit differently. Obviously, you guys will not all have the same access to different things to cook. And so, but starting next week, each week I'm going to be introducing some different foods to you and how to cook some of them. And then we're going to try to, we'll talk a little bit about how bentos are put together and what's included in an average Japanese bento and what's important and stuff like that. And so I will give you information. So if you like to cook, you will be able to make some of the things, and I'll show you some of the different ingredients and how to cook some of those things. And so that's kind of where we're going to go from here. I am not a professional cooking show guy, and so it's going to be take the cringy level and increase it for this, but look forward to that starting next week. But if you have anything in particular that you want to look into, let me know. But make sure you have your textbook for Thursday, and I look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, hopefully it's not game ばっかりですね. Well, no, maybe it is. Alright, 終わりましょう。気をつけ。ね。ありがとうございました。また木曜日。